Inside my bones, it goes electric wavy when I turn it on.
And if you want it inside your soul,
just open up your heart, let music take control.
I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. The room all locked, the way we rock it, so don't stop. And under the lights, when everything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move, well, you already know. So just imagine, nothing I can see but you when we dance, dance, dance. Feel good, good creeping up on me, so just dance, dance, dance. All those things I should be doing, but you dance, dance, dance. And ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. So just dance, dance, dance. So just dance, dance, dance. So just dance, dance, dance. So keep dancing.
How about we give these young ladies a wonderful round of applause? What you just saw was the actual official 2017 National School Choice official dance. They do one every year, and they do everything from mobs, what do they call them? Flash mobs and different dances, and that was the official 2017 National School Choice Week dance that the young ladies did, and we hope that you enjoy these scarves that they hand out. We get these every year from the National School Choice Week as well. Azalia Smith, Michaela Currington, Janae Fletcher, Honesty Beavers, and Jasmine Forward are dancers for the evening. Thank you, ladies. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for coming this evening. We welcome you. Your attendance and participation in tonight's discussion is welcome and appreciated. I would like to give a special thanks to our elected panel members this evening, our faculty and staff, our principals, Principal Curley and Principal Clark, is over here, Ms. Clark. We thank them because they continually support us through our efforts as we try to engage our parents and try to bring new information to you. And I would like for Ms. Curley, Principal Curley, to come up and give a short welcoming.
Good evening, everyone. Again, welcome to our February PA meeting where this is National School Choice Week, and our panel will bring an open discussion to you on communities and school relations. Again, again, thank everyone for coming, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening.
I would also like to recognize we do have some of our community members and organizations in the room tonight. If you could please stand. I know we have some panel members. If you would please stand. They are from different community organizations as well. We try to bring in different organizations, and that's what we want to start talking about. It's just how we can start bringing in different organizations to support our families and to support our students. Research shows that when relationships are established and and continually cultivated, that these relationships support school recruitment, and in the case of charter schools like ours, after-school programming, student safety, parental involvement, and student achievement. Linking community to the classroom positively impacts students' academics, improves school-related behaviors, and creates safer classrooms. Creating safe environments to both the school and the community are important, and by building strong supportive relationships among our communities and schools, we start to see an improvement in some of those related behaviors. For example, we hear a lot about bullying. So one thing we want to do this evening is to take a moment with Dr. Jefferson, and she's going to speak to you about what Richard Allen does as far as our policies towards bullying before we get started. Dr. Jefferson.
Hello, parents. Good evening to you. I'm so glad to see all of you parents as well as my colleagues and representatives of community resources. As Ms. Anderson indicated, that you cannot talk about community in school and relationship without, at this point in time in history, talking about safety. And one of the things that the Ohio Department of Education, as well as just the focus of Richard Allen schools in general, we have a responsibility to make sure we have a conversation, brief conversation, from time to time, from our lips to your ears in reference to school safety. Specifically focusing on bullying. I think some of our young students are passing out to you, and maybe one per family, a little briefing that I want to share with you. And at your leisure, please take a moment and look at it in its total form. Because what I want to speak to you briefly about tonight is primarily the definition of bullying, because I think one of the issues that I confront on any given day, on any given week, with all three of our campuses is the confusion between, the confusion about what bullying really is. I think our environment, our community, our society is so agitated and volatile at this point in time that some things that appear to be negative interactions are seen as bullying that really are not. So I just want to make sure that you leave away this evening as parents having an understanding, number one, that Richard Allen Schools has a zero tolerance policy for bullying, meaning that we don't tolerate it at all. All of the principals at all of our campuses, including Hamilton, but specifically to you, Principals Curley, Principal Clark, enforce that to its strictest form. And the consequences typically involve suspension, and at times suspension with intent to expel, because the safety of our students is paramount at all times. If you would look at the first bulleted area of the handout, that is where I took a moment to sort of identify very quickly 4 or 5 things to help you leave tonight with a clearer understanding of bullying. First of all, understand that bullying is intentional, and that sort of creates the difference between teasing and bullying. Bullying has a very intentional, focused purpose to it. Right. When a person is bullying someone, they have made up in their mind with purpose that they are going to be mean-spirited to the individual in whatever way they've decided that they're going to do that. So I want you to keep in mind the word intentionality, because a lot of times teasing has nothing to do with intentionality. It can and it cannot, but it depends upon what the intention is, because when the intention is with the purpose of causing harm, that's where it moves over into the lane of moving from teasing to that of what we refer to in terms of a working definition as bullying. And then second, I want you to understand that with intentions, the actions have to be repeated, and they have to be repeated over time. A lot of times in schools, especially pre-K through 8th grade, you'll have a lot of teasing going on that is sort of a moment in time. They may tease them and then it stops. And then maybe 2 months later, they may come back with another teasing. What I look for is a pattern. As a director of social services for Richard Allen Schools, I look for a pattern of the behavior where it is repeated and repeated over time.
They can hear you. They can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Okay. I look for a pattern of behavior over time. I hope that you all heard me in the back. Did you get the gist of what I was saying? Okay, let me just it right quickly, ma'am. I want you to come away tonight. Now, can you all hear me in the front? Okay. I want you to come away tonight with a clearer understanding of what our working definition of bullying is. When I say working definition, of what bullying is. Because schools, as well as other community organizations, operate within a certain framework of understanding of what bullying is. And sometimes it is different than what a parent may perceive, because after all, this is your baby, and you come at it from a different perspective of the heart. So when we talk about bullying, understand first and foremost that it has to be intentionality. I will be looking for what was the intention of the individual. And looking to see what the intention means spiritually. The second piece that I want you to remember is that bullying, I look for a pattern. There has to be a pattern of the repeated behavior over time. Intentionality of negative behavior, mean-spirited behavior repeated over time. I listed for you a few of the examples. Because like I said, the examples of bullying actually mimic those of teasing. The difference is, what is the intent? Is it repeated behavior? And is it over time? Most of the time, 99 3/4% of the time, the person who is bullying is intending to establish some type of power position over the person, or has the intent of attempting to receive something from the person. So that is the other characteristic that sort of frames our working definition of bullying. Intentionality, repeated over time. There is power, and the aim is to get something from that person or establish a power position. Now keep in mind, bullying can manifest itself in the form of being physical, social, or emotional. I want to ask of you as parents this evening to understand and remember that we need to, as partners in bullying prevention. At Richard Allen, we do everything we can to make sure that our campuses are safe, that we are monitoring issues and concerns that have been brought to us at any given time, and that we bring them to some resolve where the students are still safe, and parents are comfortable that their babies and students are safe when they are in our care during the course of the day. So just keep in mind that we need you to support us and partner with us in this effort. And one of the most important things that you can do as parents to support us in this effort is to model the appropriate and positive behavior so that children understand what is socially appropriate, what is positive, what is good, and how to treat one another at any given time. I do want to close by saying that if at any given time you have concerns about your child in terms of how they are being treated or engaged with other students, do not hesitate, first of all, to let the teacher know, let the principal know, and more than likely, I will be contacted as Director of Social Services to do an assessment and also intervene if appropriate. So with that said, thank you for your listening ear.